What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Wide Eye Sports Podcast. You got your boy Bryn on the mic as always. This week, we got a full cast and crew joining us. We got Riley, Spoon, and Dalt all joining us again this week. How's everybody's week going? I like to ask. I like to get a feel. How's everybody doing? How's everybody been doing?
It's going.
Chilling, man.
All right, everybody seems pretty
not as exciting as our week, Brenner, I guess.
Yeah. Me and Spoon have been we've been in Colorado all weekend, so we've been up in the mountains hiking. It's been good. Just got back home yesterday, feeling refreshed, rejuvenated from the vacation. Start work again tomorrow, but we got some NFL news to talk about today. So I just want to start off the show real quick by giving a shout out to Vontae Davis, who passed away over the weekend tragically. 35 years old, super young guy, two-time NFL Pro Bowler. So rest in peace. That's a big news. But transferring over to some less depressing news, I would like to take a little time on the show to look forward to next season. And while we don't know the exact schedules yet, we do know who will be playing who. We just don't know when. So I took the liberty of... Oh, we lost Dalton. Dalton will hopefully be rejoining us. Oh, there he is again. See if I can get him back in here. End of the stage. We lost him. Dalton, you back? We got you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. We got you. All right. As I was saying, apologies. Top 5 revenge games is what we're going to go for right now. We want to look ahead to next season since we know who's playing who. I want to look and see some revenge games, right? Some of the most anticipated games from last season to next season. So I'm going to start off the list with an honorable mention. And the honorable mention that I chose was actually kind of one I don't think anybody's going to be talking about until the week of. And that is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Atlanta Falcons. Can any of you guess why this is my honorable mention?
I'm guessing it has something to do with Kirk Cousins and how
it does. It does.
I would assume.
Surprise! Leave it to Brenner to make something out of nothing.
I just want everybody to know that is watching though. Just real quick, I kind of skimmed over this list. There are 2 games that really stand out to me. And if neither one of those 2 games are in this top 5, then I'm going to be upset. But we'll see.
All right.
I just want to know how this would be in any sort of way a revenge game.
So we all know Kirk was a Minnesota Viking for the past 6 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We know Mike Zimmer, the current Dallas defensive coordinator, will be playing against Kirk in this game or coaching against Kirk. There's been a lot of rumor and speculation over the past 6 or so years since Kirk signed with Minnesota that Mike Zimmer never wanted Kirk Cousins. He wanted to bring Teddy back and run it up on defense and just stack the defense and just build it up that way. And the GM at the time, Rick Spielman, just went after Kirk, said, nope, we're going to get a quarterback, went after Kirk. And there was a lot of drama there the entire time Kirk was in Minnesota over that. So those 2 getting to play against each other, coach against each other, is a big deal. And I don't think it'll be talked about until the week of. And you 2 being Cowboys fans especially, I guarantee you will hear all about that week.
Oh, for sure.
But that's my honorable mention. It's not on the list. We're going to move to number 5. And number 5 is, not a game that could even happen. It may not even happen. But Russell Wilson against the Denver Broncos.
That will happen, and that is one of the games that I was looking at.
If Russ is still starting. If Russ is still starting. He may not even be starting by then. That could happen.
I don't see why he wouldn't be, though.
Well, if he gets hurt, blows out his knee or something.
Well, what I like about this game is that it will be played for a fact in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that's where he should be going. For it to be an awesome revenge game, you want him going back to Denver. You don't want him playing his team at his new home or his old team at his new team's home field. So
yeah. No, I agree.
And I honestly, if I had to pick a team to win that game, if Russ is starting, I'm going to go with the Steelers because I'm sure that Russ is going to go in there and want to beat the dog shit out of the Broncos.
Oh, dude, the Broncos
after the way they treated
him.
Yeah. Oh, and they don't look good at all.
Who do they have as QB? Right, who do they have as QB right now?
Jared Stidham.
Wow. I'm actually impressed. I'm impressed that you knew that nothing name so quickly.
Oh yeah,
I'm very impressed too because
all I
do
do is know nothing. That's all I do. That's all I do well is know nothing. All right, so jumping up, the number 4 game on this list, Dan Quinn against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, that happened twice, but I feel like that's a huge one, right? He's been there for years. He's going back. He's coaching a division rival. I feel like that's a big revenge game opportunity for Dan Quinn, especially getting to play in the same division, getting to play 2 games against the team that, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys defense had hype around it every year, and they always played well up until you needed them to. And then they kind of fell apart, which is kind of Dan Quinn's MO, right? Like the Falcons Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be an interesting game. I'm excited to watch it. Like you said, a division rival game, revenge game, and I'm interested just to see who the for.
You're cutting it out, Dalt. We completely lost you there. I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, I'm really looking forward to this game. Like you said, revenge game, Dan Quinn versus Mike McCarthy. And then I'm just interested to see who the Commanders pick as their quarterback this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll save that. We got a mock draft coming up later this week. We'll save that for that show. I'll give my opinions over there. But moving on up, number 3 on the list, I'm circling back to Kirk versus the Vikings in Minnesota.
Okay, that was one of them. That was on my list, so I'm glad
that kind of explains itself. I mean, I as a Minnesota fan, I didn't necessarily want Kirk to be gone. I think that he gives us next season the best opportunity to win out of any quarterback we could have. Now, that being said, the year after that, or 2 years after that, or 3 years after that, I don't necessarily believe that. So letting him walk kind of came down to that. And so I don't think that the fans will be all that, receptive of Kirk. He gave us a lot, but at the same time, we gave him $185 million and he walked out the door because we weren't willing to pay him more. So it'll be interesting to see. Number 2 on my list is Saquon Barkley going back to play the Giants. So obviously that'll also happen twice. Yep. That's a big one. That's you have one of the premier guys in the league, one of the premier names going back to play his division rival on an arguably way better team now. So I would expect Saquon to have 4 touchdowns in 2 games against the Giants, but that's just me.
That's crazy.
I would expect him to have at least 2 touchdowns a game. I feel like he's going to be ready to roll, especially after what was it, Tiki Barber?
Yeah.
Was it Tiki Barber said he's dead to them? So little extra motivation on top there. All right. So number 1 game next season, revenge game. Any guesses? I
mean, I don't want to give mine away because I'm off on one right now. But
okay.
If anybody else has guesses, more than welcome.
Anybody? Nobody?
I have a really good one.
This is a bad guess.
I would at the games. I can't think of one.
Well, I would probably guess like Aaron Jones going against the Vikings, maybe.
Nope. Running back, not a real heavy. It is a good revenge story, but Aaron Jones isn't a premier running back like Saquon is, so I left that off.
I have a question then. Is this a team revenge game or is this a player revenge game?
Yeah. It's a team revenge game.
Eagles going back to Tampa Bay to redeem themselves.
Nope.
That's what I have.
Even bigger than that.
Even bigger than that. I think
KC.
San Francisco, KC.
Detroit. No, what?
San Francisco and Kansas City.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean
Super Bowl rematch. This is the ultimate revenge game for San Francisco. You've now been beat twice by this man in the Super Bowl. Twice. Yeah. So this is a Kyle Shanahan, that defense, everything, George Kittle, there's a lot of revenge on the table for them, and I don't think there's anything bigger than that. I feel like the Super Bowl is the premier thing, so revenge for the Super Bowl is the biggest revenge.
That was going to be my guess. That was honestly my first guess.
Speaking of the Chiefs, do we have any Rashee Rice news?
The only thing I have seen is that it is confirmed that he was on the scene. It's confirmed that he has sought legal counsel, and his counsel has issued a statement saying he will work with the police in any investigation to make sure that all things are taken care of, and that he was like photographed at a bar with his family in the same attire that he wore leaving the scene of the accident. So same evening, morning, whatever you want to call it. So that's all we know for fact right now. If there's anything else, I have not been made aware of it.
Do you think they'll suspend him? Do you think they'll discipline him in any way?
Oh, they'll definitely discipline him. It's probably going to be like a 6-game suspension, and then they'll appeal it, and it'll be brought down. They'll appeal it, and it'll be brought down to like a 3-game suspension for fleeing the scene of a crime. That's probably what we'll end up seeing. Or they'll just throw him on the commissioner's exempt list for 2 games and call it good.
Can I go ahead and list off a few revenge games that weren't mentioned?
Yeah.
So obviously the Eagles going back to Tampa to redeem themselves after an awful loss. They should not have lost in Tampa last year.
See, I think they should. I think the Bucks were the better team.
I think the Bucks were a better team that day, but I don't think overall. I thought the Eagles played much better last year than the Bucks did.
I think we just continue to underrate the Bucks as a team on last season. I think they were. I think they were exactly what they ended up being, a playoff caliber team that can beat a team on the Eagles level. Like, I think that's just who they were last season.
Well, you also have Matthew Stafford is going back to Detroit.
But we already had that. We already had Rams.
Yeah, we had one of those last year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I know we already had it, but they knocked him out of the playoffs.
Oh,
so another revenge game. They could
fair enough.
They can come back and get redemption for their playoff loss. Like a lot of mine. And then you also have Detroit going back to San Francisco, who knocked them out in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
I think that'll be a fun one to watch. Besides that, you have the typical like Buffalo and Kansas City playing each other, which are always just great games. But yeah,
Jordan Poyer playing against Buffalo. Real quick side note: Jordan Poyer playing against Buffalo. That'll be good revenge.
That'll be a good. And that'll happen twice. So.
Does anyone know if the Jets are playing the Packers?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. Huh?
No, they're playing the AFC South. So no, they're
I don't think they. Yeah, the NFC North doesn't play the AFC East or the NFC East. So no, it'd be the AFC East. What am I talking about?
AFC. Yeah, they play the AFC South. So.
Couldn't talk. All right, so with that, we're going to move on to our next segment. We are going to, in the spirit of March Madness, we are going to essentially find our Final Four. And what we're going to do here on the show is I have went through and I have made a roster for each division. So, for example, the AFC North.
You want to explain to them why you did it?
No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. We're going to get there. So, AFC North, quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Running back, Nick Chubb. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper. Tight end, Mark Andrews. O-line from the Ravens, and the defense from the Ravens. And so I did that for each division. And what we're going to do is we're going to pit each division against another division, bracket style, until we have a winner. So this week, we're going to do the round of 8, the Elite 8, right? So we're going to go through it'd be Sweet 16 because there's 16 divisions. No, there's 8 divisions.
There's 8 divisions.
I'm all over the place right now. Sorry.
You're good, dude.
I'm all over the place. So we're going to do the Elite 8 this week, which will narrow it down to our Final Four, which we'll do our Final Four and our championship round on next week's show. So let's get this started. I got the bracket right here. I mixed it up a little bit. We got the NFC North versus the AFC North first off. Okay. So this is for us. Okay. We are deliberating. We are the voters. We are making decisions on this. All right, boys. So first things first, NFC North, AFC North. I just read off the AFC North team. I'll run it back real quick. Lamar Jackson at quarterback, Nick Chubb at running back, Jamar Chase and Amari Cooper at wide receiver. Tight end is Mark Andrews. The O-line is the Ravens, and the defense is the Ravens. And I didn't break it down into full offensive line and full defensive line because that's a lot. We're getting really deep there, and we could do a whole episode on each matchup. And March is already over, so like we'd be pushing it there. So moving on to the NFC North, we have Jared Goff, Jamar Gibbs, JJ, Amon-Ra St. Brown with TJ Hawkinson at tight end. O-line, I went Detroit, And defense was kind of hard in the NFC North, but I went with the Packers. They were the best defense last season, and while you could definitely make an argument that both Chicago and Minnesota have improved and maybe be better, Green Bay was the best defense last year. So
I kind of want to watch this game right now. I can't. It's hard for me to make a decision. I need to see a game.
Can we put this in Madden real quick and just simulate it?
like I would love to watch these games. Like
Can you remind me who the quarterback from the NFC North was, though?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. Okay.
Jared Goff. I feel like
That's tough too, but
Jordan Love hasn't really shown me anything above Jared Goff, and Jared Goff has shown me he can do what he did consistently. So like, how do I give Jordan Love the edge there? So I gave Jared Goff the edge. It was really hard to leave Sam Darnold off this list. I won't lie to you. It was tough. I was gonna say
the only argument I could see is probably Jordan Love and.
Yeah, no, that's about all I could come up.
Yeah.
That's all I could come up with. Obviously, if Kirk had stayed, Kirk would be my number one in the division, but
obviously
he's not there. And I do believe that Jared Goff played really well last season, and I feel like he earned that number one QB in the NFC North spot. So,
all right.
I am a Vikings fan, NFC North repping. While I do believe that for a lot of the past decade, we would have won this competition and won this bracket overall, I got to give it to the AFC North here.
Same.
You got MVP Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You got RB1 Nick Chubb. Jamar Chase is a top 5 wide receiver. Amari Cooper's would be the best wide receiver 2 in the league.
He's a good number 2 guy.
Plus, Mark Andrews, top 5 tight end.
Yeah. Especially with their relationship. And then, I mean, honestly, if we're really going to break it down, you already have the Ravens O-line and their D-line. So it's like...
Yeah. Or their whole defense.
I do think the NFC North wins the wide receiver duo.
But I think that's about it.
With JJ.
Yeah. Well,
you did say DJ Moore, correct?
No. I went Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, yep. You're right.
I would say the NFC North wins.
If you gave him 3 and then you went with DJ Moore, I don't know who the third wide receiver for the AFC North would be. So I would still
probably
think they win.
Probably Pittsburgh.
George Pickens,
probably.
That's who I was thinking as well. But yeah, I would say the NFC North easily wins the wide receiver one. But besides that, it's.
I don't know. I would give him the edge in tight end. I know that's a controversial take, and maybe it's a homer take. I would take T.J. Hawkinson over Mark Andrews, but that may be a little biased. But everything else, I think the AFC North pretty handily wins outright. So we're gonna move the AFC North right here.
Are we gonna give the people back home and on Instagram a chance to vote in the next weeks?
I'm thinking we might. We might have a little vote action. Maybe in the championship we do a vote on the championship.
Okay.
Because I feel like asking everybody to get on and vote for like 6 games is a lot. So I feel like we get it down to the final 2, and then we let the people decide. What do you guys think? How you guys feel about that?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Cool. So we're going to move on here. Obviously, you can see NFC East versus AFC East. So I'll run it down real quick. AFC East, you got Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers, yes. Breece Hall at running back.
I don't know about that.
Hold on. Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. Fucking mind-blowing. Dalton Kincaid, the Dolphins O-line, and the Bills defense.
Okay.
And then in the NFC East, you have Dak Prescott, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, and Brown.
AJ Brown. Yep.
Yeah, Brown. Then you have Dallas Goedert, and then Philly's O-line and Dallas's defense.
NFC. I'm just gonna jump right out the gate and say NFC East. I mean, I'm sorry, that is too stacked. Too stacked for me.
Tough, dude.
I mean, so let's run it by position. By position. Josh
Allen
wins quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, with that, I don't know about Josh Allen winning quarterback over Aaron Rodgers. I would pick Aaron Rodgers over Josh Allen.
If we're going Aaron Rodgers, he was a 9-win quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going off of last season, Aaron Rodgers was injured, so Josh Allen wins the.
Well, even if we're going off the past 2 years, when we last saw Aaron Rodgers play, he was not a top 10 quarterback play-wise. Like, obviously, he would be put in the top 10 because he's Aaron Rodgers, but like his play on the field was not top 10. So
no, man.
We're 4 years removed from his last MVP. 5 years.
3 years removed.
Oh, okay.
So-
Too bad.
But still, the way Josh Allen has played in the past 2 seasons compared to the way Aaron Rodgers has played in the past 2 seasons, Josh Allen wins it easily. Can I get a show of hands for Josh Allen?
Yep. I got mine.
All right, 3
Now you're
3
gonna
1
get my hand.
3.
Yeah, you know
3-1
you're getting
Alvin.
Riley's hand there.
So I'm gonna vote it, Josh Allen, and then you got Brees Hall versus Saquon. I think Saquon wins that.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easy
The-
money.
The next one is what I'm
Man,
curious
I
about.
don't think this is even really a question. I mean,
I take
Tyreek
the
Hill.
No,
and
I take the
Diggs.
NFC East.
Man,
I would
Yeah.
take the AFC.
I would take the AFC. It's
I'm
you have a
taking the
top
NFC East
2
there.
receiver, and then you have 3 top 10 receivers. Like I would put Stephon Diggs above Brown. I would put CeeDee
I
Lamb
wouldn't.
above Diggs.
I-
I would.
I wouldn't. It would probably be you have what Tyreek Hill is a 1-2 receiver in the NFL, arguably with Justin Jefferson, and then you have a top 5 with CeeDee Lamb. And then personally, I think that you have a top 8 receiver with AJ Brown, and then probably a top 10 with Stephon Diggs.
So you go from 2 to 5 is the
You
matchup
go from
there. So
2 to probably 4, and then you go from 8 to 10. So it's dead even. It's just what you prefer.
I prefer to have the higher ceiling player.
I
and
prefer to have a great
Hill.
slot and a great outside wide receiver with AJ Brown.
you have that with Diggs and Hill too.
Not really. I would take Brown over Diggs.
Over
though.
who?
Yeah, I would take Brown over Diggs, and then I'm
And then
conflicted with CD over Tyreek.
CD is
There's
just
no
Tyreek.
world in which
CD
CD goes over
has-
Tyreek.
Okay,
No
the
world.
only CD has hands, and that's what helps him out over Tyreek. But Tyreek does have the speed; he's much faster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
He can run
don't
routes.
get me wrong. I'm a big CD Lamb guy.
Oh, I know you are. That's why it's shocking that you're taking
So-
the AFC
so-
East in wide receivers over the NFC East.
So here's how I rank these receivers, right? I got Hill, then I got Lamb, then I got Diggs, then I got Brown.
That's
That's
how
how I
I got
rank
it.
these guys.
and that's where you mess up because I have Brown over Diggs.
See, Diggs has shown me that no matter where he plays, he has success. He had success with Case Keenum. He had success with Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, Teddy Bridgewater. Like he has shown no matter who's throwing in the football, he can have success. AJ Brown didn't break out until he went to Philly and he was utilized in a correct way. He has to be utilized specifically to win. So for that, Stephon Diggs gets the dub. I mean, I'm not saying it's like this massive difference in player and that Stephon Diggs is light years above AJ Brown. I just think overall, if I could have a dude, so the reason I like
I
this
just
so
think
much,
Diggs went from Kirk Cousins to Josh Allen, which is two
but he
top 10
but he had-
quarterbacks, and now he has Jalen Hurts, who's not.
but he
top-
had
top
Teddy
20.
Bridgewater and Case Keenum before that, and he did just fine then.
All right.
So I mean, I
just think Diggs really stepped up whenever he had a top quarterback throwing him the ball, and AJ Brown has yet to have a top quarterback throwing him the ball. I still don't think Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and he's still doing great. Fucking broke out, had an awesome season last year. So yes,
yeah, broke out 2 years ago after
I
he got
agree.
traded from Tennessee.
I agree with Spoon.
But I would say
Yeah.
that Case Keenum is below Ryan Tannehill, and Diggs did pretty good with Case.
I still
I
think
just
I
don't-
don't think AJ Brown did awful
right,
with
here,
Ryan Tannehill either.
No, he didn't. He didn't do awful. He didn't do awful. All right, so I will say heads. We're gonna do this coin flip style. We're
Just
gonna do this coin
just
flip.
mark it as a draw. We will do the coin flip if we need the tie.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw. Okay. So tight end, Dalton Kincaid or Dallas Goedert. I got Kincaid.
I got Goddard.
I got Goddard.
I love Dalton
Man.
Kincaid. I was a big fan of him. I was looking at him in the draft, but I think Dallas Goedert is just disgusting as a tight end.
Riley, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Goddard.
All right.
just 'cause
Goddard
he's
gets
been
the-
around a little longer.
Okay, that's fair. I don't hate it. All right. O-line, Philly or Dolphins? I got Philly.
I got Philly.
Hold on.
Philly.
My
Is it with Jason? The
It's
thing
without Jason Kelce.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
without
And
Jason
that's what we
Kelce,
don't
so-
know. We don't know how good that offense.
yeah,
is gonna
and the
be without
Dolphins
Jason.
just had the leading rusher leading touchdown guy in the NFL run behind him last year in Raheem Mostert that at 31. So it's not like he's some
But
spectacular RB.
didn't the Dolphins lose two starters on the.
They
O-line?
lost their center as well. They both lost their center. They did lose their center. So I guess you kind of got to call it Philly because they both lost their center, and we would go Philly all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Let's
Go
go
with Philly.
Philly. And then last but not least, defensively, we have Bills and we have Cowboys, and I'm giving it to the Bills.
I'm going Bills here. I don't think our defense is top tier. I honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if you went with the Eagles defense over the Cowboys defense.
I mean, so how are we doing? Are we doing it as of right now? Like
As of now.
Ugh.
Not what they were
Okay.
last
The thing
year.
is that the Bills
today.
lost a lot of defensive starters, so we
They
don't
did.
know how that defense is going to be.
I'm
Yeah.
taking.
They lost a ton. If we're going off that, then I'm taking the Cowboys with our new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I was about to say
obviously.
I'm taking the Cowboys. We haven't.
Yeah,
really
good point.
lost a
Good point.
whole
We are
lot of
going off
guys
now.
on
I'll go
defense.
Dallas. Zim deserves my respect of the unknown versus the unknown in Buffalo.
Yeah, because they're both unknown, just like you.
I'm forgetting my own rules here, dude. I'm all over the place today. I don't know what's going on. That's gonna. I mean, Riley, unless you're just gonna argue it to argue, that's gonna give the.
No, I if we're doing it up right now, I completely agree.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the NFC East gets the W.
Yo, let's go.
NFC East gets the dub. All right, now we're moving on over here to the NFC South versus the AFC South. So we're going to start it off with the AFC South first. Now, big shocker here. We got CJ Stroud
Let's
starting
go.
off at the quarterback position.
100%.
All right. You got Jonathan
Trevor
Taylor
Lawrence?
over T-Law. Yep.
I'm just kidding. I'm a huge T-Law fan. I love it, but I would take Stroud here.
But Stroud's the guy. He's Himothy. All right, so we got Jonathan Taylor coming in as our RB1.
Really?
Over who? Who else were you thinking?
I'm just I don't know, man. I don't know. You saying that just kind of surprised me.
Yeah, no, JT all day.
Because like how many games did he miss last
Well,
year?
but I'm talking like a healthy, like right now, if they played
yeah.
today and he was playing, like I'm
There's
taking
no
Jonathan Taylor.
There's not another running. There's
I was
not
about
another running back.
Travis
gonna say.
Etienne. Travis Etienne would be the only other guy out of the AFC South. Derrick Henry's gone now, so
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
and
shit.
You take Jonathan Taylor over Travis Etienne?
yeah, for sure.
Would you take him
Nice.
over Tony Pollard? Yes. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Nope, Tony Pollard. Forgot all about him. Write him
Tony
down.
Pollard.
So then we got Michael Pittman Jr. and of course the great DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver.
Yeah.
You have Evan Ingram at tight end. I feel like he's really shown out these past 2 seasons for the Jacksonville Jaguars at tight end and showed he can be a legitimate force. The Texans O-line and the Texans defense. I don't feel like any of these O-lines are crazy strong. And the Texans defense was good last year and they got better this year with the addition of Danielle Hunter. They did lose quite a few guys. They lost, I think, 3 starters on defense, but they got some new starters in there and they upgraded with Danielle Hunter. So that's who I got. And then the NFC South, obviously we got Kirk Cousins starting QB. It was between him and Baker, and I give Kirk the
figured that.
nod.
I figured that.
Alvin Kamara at running back. We have Mike Evans and Chris Olave at wide receiver. That was a hard one. I almost gave it to Chris Godwin. Gave it to Godwin. But I feel like if Olave had a real quarterback, he would be just as good as Godwin. So I gave it to Olave. And then Kyle Pitts at tight end, the Buccaneers O-line, and then the New Orleans Saints defense. So let's run it position by position like we've been doing. You got Kirk
I feel like
versus
it's a
CJ.
no-brainer though.
Yeah.
This one's hard. Kirk
This
versus
one is
CJ.
tough.
I mean,
I'm taking.
I'll go last.
I'm gonna take CJ just because he's coming off of a hot season, and Kirk is coming off of an injury, which I am not.
But-
I would not be willing to take that risk.
But this is healthy. This is healthy players. This isn't like, if they're
Yeah,
hurt,
no,
they're hurt today.
No, you said
You said
now.
as the team as is. So everybody's
Exactly.
healthy for the team.
Yeah,
Everybody
okay,
for that
it's-
team is healthy.
But he is coming off an injury.
But
So we're just gonna
the
pretend
injuries are
that, bro, you're
that we-
being Kirk Cousins biased right now.
No. It has nothing to do with Kirk Cousins bias. I just did this for Jonathan Taylor. This has nothing to do with it being Kirk. I just did this for Jonathan Taylor. I said, as is today, if all players were healthy.
Okay,
That's
it's just
If you still want to go CJ, that's your thing. You can go CJ. I'm not going to argue with you over that. I'm just giving you the parameters of what we're doing.
Okay, so is he still like old?
All players are 100% healthy right now, as they are today.
Is he the
He is
age
still
that
the same age. He is the
Okay.
same age. He is just
I'll take CJ.
completely healthy. That's fine.
Riley?
Man, I kind of got to stick with the consistency thing. It's hard for me to pick a rookie over Kirk, so I'm gonna go with Kirk.
I wanted you to go first before me because honestly, this could be a coin flip.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear what you had to say because that's probably where I'm gonna lean. Because honestly, like I love Kirk, I love CJ, but CJ is just a rookie. We don't know how he's going to be a second year.
We got to the playoffs last year.
I know. You've heard of the sophomore slump. You know how that goes. I would probably take Kirk if I was. I don't know, man. Actually, that's so tough, man. Like if I'm looking out, like if either of these teams were quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys, which one would I rather have right now? And it's like I'd rather have CJ. Obviously, you got the great rookie season. So
yep.
Keep in mind, you're just using them for one game, guys. We're not looking at a 10-year outlook here. We're using them for one to 3 games here.
I would trust Kirk then more. He's got the more experience. I'd go with him. I'd go with Kirk.
Okay, I'm gonna go Kirk strictly because the dude was leading the NFL in touchdowns and yards when he got, or touchdowns and almost yards when he got hurt last year. So dude can still ball. He's just getting up there, and he will fall off eventually. But if I need him for 4 games, I'm taking Kirk over CJ. So we're going to go Kirk there. So then Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, I'm going JT.
I'm going Alvin Kamara.
I would probably go with Kamara.
I'm probably going with Kamara as well.
All right, Kamara it is. All right, we got Pittman and Hopkins versus Evans and Olave. I'm going to lean Evans Olave.
That's where I'm leaning towards as well.
Same, yeah.
I love Michael Pittman,
kind of old.
but DeAndre Hopkins getting old. That's all it is, and he can probably still ball, and he probably fine. But
Evans is getting old too. But I mean, he just dropped another 1,000-yard season.
Yeah,
so
1,000-yard season. That dude's that dude is a first ballot guy. Like let's time out for 1 second. He's tied Jerry Rice for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and the dude has a ring. He's tied Jerry Rice. He's a fucking touchdown machine. Like the dude's just he's what you would want out of every receiver you ever draft. But anyways, we're gonna move on to tight end. We have Evan Ingram versus Kyle Pitts, and I am gonna go Ingram.
Ooh.
Kyle Pitts has the potential, but that's every year. Dog, you said Ingram?
I would probably go after
Evan Ingram.
All right. Well, I was gonna say Pitts, but yeah, I mean I lose, so it's fine. It's not a big deal.
We got O-line. We got Texans, Bucks. I'm gonna go Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool with it.
Riley?
Yep, Bucks.
All right. Well, that gives the AFC South the win. That gives them 4 right there. Just for shits and giggles, would you take the Texans?
You mean the NFC South?
Or sorry, sorry.
Okay.
The NFC South the win. Texans defense versus Saints defense. I'd probably go Texans.
Texans.
I was gonna go Saints. I think they have a really good defense still.
They do have a really good defense. I just think the Texans are a little better. But either way,
I was just thinking about that Lions Saints game where the Lions put like 21 points up on them within.
Yeah, but Ben Johnston's a fucking god, and the second he leaves Detroit, they'll go back to being a poverty franchise. So that's all it is. So last but not least, we have one of the powerhouses in the AFC West and the NFC West.
The mitochondria.
So, yeah.
Well, we already know who's winning the quarterback race.
So hold on. You don't even know who I picked for the quarterback.
It doesn't matter. Mahomes is going to win it.
So Mahomes, and it's really kind of unfortunate because Matt Stafford is on the other side. So, and he's a good quarterback. But we'll stick with the AFC West for a second. We'll run it down the list here. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Isaiah Pacheco at running back because the running backs in that division kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have Gus Edwards, Alexander Madison, Isaiah Pacheco, and who am I forgetting?
It sucks too because obviously I think they would have a
Where
they
did
could
Josh?
possibly win with
The Packers.
Jacobs there.
Josh Jacobs
Where
was
did
with the
Josh?
Packers.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, and you didn't.
Yeah.
Who did you
Oh
have?
yeah, we didn't even. Oh, Jameer Gibbs. Jameer Gibbs. That's right.
Oh, okay. You had Jameer
Jameer
Gibbs
Gibbs.
over Josh
Yeah,
Jacobs.
over Josh Jacobs. That's
Okay,
tough.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
that is
thought it
tough.
was. I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
Jameer
okay
Gibbs
with
showed
that.
last season that when he's used, or he can be like even splitting time, he was able to be a top echelon running back.
Yeah.
So with that,
I was just
you have Devontae Adams and Keenan Allen at the wide receiver position. You have Travis Kelce. What?
Keenan Allen's not there.
Oh shit, he's not. He got let
He's
go.
not there.
All right, so we gotta have a wide receiver 2 in the AFC West. I forgot him and Mike Williams got let go. I
Kadarius Toney. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I put it down. No, I mean I would say Rashee Rice, but we know how that's working right now. Oh God,
I mean,
Cortland Sutton.
He'll run
I
away.
mean, we know how that's going though too.
yeah, I mean Cortland Sutton's kind of the next guy up.
That's what I would say. I mean,
I'm
I don't know.
gonna be
he's-
Sutton. We'll
He
go
just turned-
Devontae.
he just turned himself in too.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a shitstorm over there in the AFC West right now. But then you have Adams and Sutton is who we're gonna go with. Travis Kelce, the Raiders O line, and the Chiefs defense. I feel like that's fair.
over the Chiefs
Over the
O line.
No, I was gonna say over the Raiders defense though.
Man, the Chiefs defense just took them
They did.
and won them a Super Bowl.
That's
It's the
true.
Chiefs defense. The Raiders are a run-first team that have shown they can protect quarterbacks. The Chiefs O-line is really good, but I like the Raiders O-line.
Okay.
And then Matthew Stafford is a QB of the NFC West with Christian McCaffrey. And then the wide receivers in the NFC West were deep, but I went with Puka Nacua and DK Metcalf because I think Puka
Shit.
played better. Cooper Kupp's been injured and didn't play as well as Puka when he was in. George Kittle, the 49ers O-line and the 49ers D, because both those units are monstrous. So let's just go ahead and give Patrick Mahomes the W right now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Just check that off.
As
Give
a-
Christian
running backs,
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey,
Yep. He gets the
receivers. I feel
Give
like you gotta go
Puka-
NFC West here.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to go
Yeah.
with Puka and
Puka and DK,
DK.
and then tight end. Are we going with
This
Kelsey?
is a hard.
Uh,
This is a
no,
hard one
we-
for me.
I'm going with
I-
Kelsey.
I'd go
I'm going-
with Kelsey.
I hate George Kittle. I hate George Kittle. I'm going with George Kittle.
I've always had the stance of I
Wow.
think George Kittle is better than Travis Kelsey. I'm gonna
So this is a draw.
hold on. Our Chiefs reporter Steven is probably gonna be listening to this when it comes
He's gonna
out.
be pissed.
And
He's gonna be pissed.
So this goes for me and him, Steven, if you're listening. Me and him, this goes back to like 2017, right? When George Kittle was first coming out. George Kittle broke the tight end receiving record like his second year in the NFL. And then Travis Kelsey broke it the next season. But Travis Kelsey did it with much less help. George Kittle did it with much less help. And I believe it was Jimmy Garoppolo throwing him the football at the time. So, like, George Kittle has proven and shown he's a better run blocker and he can be just as big a receiving threat as Travis Kelsey. I like George Kittle if I'm picking a player to be on my team. Like,
Yeah,
I-
same.
That's who I'm going with.
Steven, if you're listening, I'm picking the tight end that showed up to the Super Bowl.
That's
And
fair.
I'm picking
That's
Travis
fair.
Kelsey.
That's fair.
Individually, I get what you're saying, Brenner, but
Yeah.
Kelsey's still playing with Mahomes even in this scenario.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
think that,
See, that's where.
But
that's where
I believe if you
was-
put Kittle with Mahomes, it would be even better than Kelsey with Mahomes. That's what I'm saying. So like if you put him
I
one
hate that
for
I
one
like
against
that.
each other, I'm going Kittle. Like you can shit on the take all you want, and everybody feel free to shit on me in the comments. I'm taking Kittle because I believe that if you took each player out of where they're at and swapped them, Kittle would be as successful as Kelsey, and Kelsey would not be as successful as Kittle.
In this scenario, Travis Kelsey's going to be a lot
At
better
me.
with Mahomes throwing him the ball than George Kittle.
My
is with
Instagram
Matthew
or my
Stafford.
Twitter handle is right here at me. All right, so we got
All right,
we got a
move
tie. We got a tie.
Yep,
Yeah.
we have a draw.
All right, so
Come
so
back
if
to
if it comes down to a draw, we'll coin flip it.
Yep.
So O line Raiders Niners. I got Niners.
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 Defense, Chiefs, Niners. I got Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm fine with it.
So that's 3-2 in favor of the NFC West.
Really?
They lost on the tight end draw.
I feel like,
Wow.
bro, I really feel like it's so crazy because you can just give them extra point. Like they should get extra points for having Patrick Mahomes, like as a quarterback.
Like just having Patrick Mahomes gives them like 2 extra points.
It should. I know they lost.
I don't hate it,
but it should be at least like 3-3, and then we should coin flip just because Patrick Mahomes is that guy.
He gets an extra point.
I mean, like I said, these two are powerhouse teams. Like these are two tough, hard to choose teams. But we're gonna give it to the NFC West. NFC West. All right. So next week we have our final 4. So next week
AFC
we're gonna do
is about dropped out.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do the AFC versus the NFC. I wanted to do it all mixed up because now we get to see, regardless of conference, who comes down, who are the final 2, who's gonna make it. So I'm excited to see. So everybody make sure to tune in next week on the White Eye Sports Podcast. We will be going over this. If you're listening on Spotify, just a recap for you, the YouTube audience has a graphic up, but there is going to be the AFC North against the NFC East, and then it's going to be the NFC South versus the NFC West. And I'm interested to see how this plays out because the AFC or the NFC East has made it another round, and I don't know. I would say we have a couple biased people in this lobby, so I'm interested to see how next week goes. See if they make it to the championship round, and then don't forget you will get to vote on the winner. You will get to decide who is the champion, and we will get that up on the IG here in a couple weeks so that you all can vote on that. So, other than that, I only have one other thing for the crowd today. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
Just wanted to, cross my fingers, hoping that Zeke comes back to Dallas and he wasn't spurned by Jerry
I was wanting to
Jones.
bring that up, yeah.
Yeah,
I would actually enjoy. We were talking about that in Colorado. I would actually enjoy seeing Zeke come back to the Cowboys. I'd be fine with it.
I would too, man. I just love him and Dak's energy together. I think Zeke he never should have left. They should have given it another year. And I was wrong. I was happy to see him go when he did go, and I'll stand right here in front of everybody and say I was wrong, and I wish we would have kept him.
The only thing that would piss me off if he does come back is my personal decision in not buying an Ezekiel Elliott jersey whenever they were like $40 because they were on sale. And then if he comes back, I'd be like, holy fuck! Like I should have just bought a $40 jersey.
Hop on right now, see if you can get a $40 jersey.
I'm
on it right now.
See if they're still on sale.
All right. So last thing I want to talk about is the UFL. Did anybody ever watch any UFL this weekend?
I caught a little bit of it.
I saw
for those, I was about to say, for those of you who don't know, there was a Spoon. Can you pull up the kicker's name? I can't remember the kicker's name.
Are you
pull that
talking
up for me?
about the 64
For the Michigan,
yarder?
yeah, Michigan kicker. I believe is it the Michigan Rough Riders?
I believe.
I believe.
I don't know who it is.
I think it's Michigan Rough something. Hold on, I can pull.
Oh, it's the Michigan Stallions, isn't it?
Is it the Stallions?
I think it's the Stallion. No, it's the Birmingham. No, it's the Michigan Panthers. We're so dumm.
Oh, we are so dumb.
His name's Jake Bates.
Jake Bates. So Jake Bates, I believe, got a contract offer to play for the Lions and was signed to their roster as
really?
He'll go to training camp and compete off the fact that he made not one, but 2 64-yard field goals, including a game winner in their game on opening weekend of the UFL. So we already have UFL guys making an impact, making their way up to the NFL. And
imagine playing
I'm
one
excited.
game.
Yeah.
One game and getting signed.
Here's a crazy stat. This kid has not attempted a field goal in a game since high school.
Outside of the 2 64-yarders he nailed.
Outside of those, he has not attempted a field goal outside of in a game. I don't know. I don't know why did he not go to college or so. I have no idea.
We'll have more for you on that next week. Yeah. But last little bit on the UFL. they averaged 1.4 million viewers a game, which would be on par with an MLB game or a low-end NBA game. And this is just like the start of the UFL. Like they haven't even done anything to make anybody want to watch yet. So
they definitely did after
because-
that.
well, you know what I mean.
It's
Like
because
before this,
being a football fan is a disease, and it will make you itch and scratch, and you need
I
to
would
watch
say it's more
more
of a
football.
lifestyle choice than a disease. But I mean, call it whatever you want.
It stays with you for life. It's a disease.
I love it. I love it. I love my disease. I'm a proud football fan, and I love my disease.
It brings the worst out in us. That when people debate Dak Prescott versus whoever, I just yell Dak Prescott because I can't see straight.
That is a disease. Cowboy fandom is a disease. I think you're getting confused with it.
Maybe
with
it's just
football
me.
fans.
Yeah.
Like yours is a disease. My Vikings fandom is a handicap. Like that's like, we're a little special. But so with that, the Final Four next week. We will have all the news that happened over this week. And this Friday, we got Mock Draft 5.0 coming at you live. So make sure to tune in for that. We're going to keep a mock draft pumped out every week until the draft hits. So until Friday, we'll see y'all later.
See you guys.